welcome to another episode of Turtle Talk. Today I'm going to be talking about Season 1, Episode 7, The Way of Invisibility. So this episode starts in Shredder's tower. Not really a lair, because it's a tower. Shredder's tower. The episode starts in Shredder's tower as he, Hun, and Stockman, who now has an eye patch, discuss how to deal with the turtle menaces.
Is this a field report or a fantasy novel? Fool!
Shredder basically tells Stockman and Hun that they have to work together to figure this out. Then it cuts to training on bamboo sticks in the dark with the guys in the lair.
Dude, you put in the clapper?
Splinter says that the way of invisibility involves the way of silence, but I don't think the guys really understand what silence means. Silent or not, that's still some really good skill on the bamboo sticks. I mean, Mikey fell and grabbed onto one and then climbed up it and they were fine. But then Casey came in and knocked a couple over and it was just like dominoes.
Guys!
So, maybe not so skilled? Casey shows the guy some of the graffiti that he's found around town and it's a little graphic. While the guys agree that they want to stop whoever's been doing the graffiti, it obviously is some kind of setup that they're just trying to get under their skin. Shells, I guess. Stupid human analogies. During this time, Leo defends his Bushido.
That's Bushido.
But then, instead of leaving like they obviously want him to, Casey decides to just hang out and make himself at home. Why not?
So what's on the tube?
Then you cut back to Shredder's tower, where Stockman is showing him his new foot tech ninjas that he made that are super strong, super fast, and super invisible. Stockman ensures that these foot tech ninjas are going to stop the turtles from interfering with them ever again, which is an error. Then you cut back to Casey in the lair, just breaking things and messing around and being very restless.
You useless piece of... Think your play is broken. What you working on? Boring stuff. Let's wrestle!
And he decides to wrestle Raph to the ground, and that's interesting.
Puke brain, geek, weeb.
A lot of name calling, which is reminiscent of the 80s movies when it was Dawn in Raph's place, and instead of wrestling, they were fixing a truck. Splinter stops the wrestling and tells Raph to take Casey topside and away from their home because he's just wrecking shop. And they run into purple dragons, tagging again.
We're the neighborhood clean and green, doing our part to stamp out taggers.
And they decide to stop the purple dragons, but then the foot tech ninjas show up.
Those things aren't human.
In case you haven't noticed, neither am I.
Yay! Only not, because they kick their butts and take Raph away and leave Casey to the mercy of the purple dragons. But apparently Casey wasn't really knocked out.
Psych!
So he escapes and takes a little eye thing from the foot ninja that had fallen when they were fighting, and he takes it back to the guys. Also, Casey is a Trekkie.
What are they, Klingons?
So you have Raph in this weird place that you saw at the beginning of the episode, at the very beginning with the intro. And he's in this weird place getting poked and stuff, and Hun shows up. Hun.
This is some nice steel. How about telling me who gave them to you?
Best Yo Mama joke ever. And quickly cut back to the lair. There's a lot of cutting back to lair in other places in this episode. But Casey comes in and he's very hurt and he knocks over all of the bamboo again and tells the guys about the invisible ninjas.
This story wouldn't involve Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny by any chance.
Dawn's trying to find a signal on Raph's shell cell and they can't find it, and Casey's upset and he just starts tearing everything apart. And by tearing everything apart, I mean kicking things and throwing things and just generally breaking all of the things that are not his to break. And he kicks a couch. He kicks a couch and it just goes flying. So Raph escapes Hun and is followed by foot ninjas because Hun decided that he was going to take all of the responsibility that he had in this operation and just force it onto Stockman, because now it's up to the Foot Tech ninjas to grab all of the guys and bring them to Shredder. Hun is actually fairly smart. So the guys finally pick up a signal for Raph, and also picks up the signals for the invisible ninjas following him, and they decide to put on the funky goggles and go save their brother.
I'm getting a signal. It's Raph! Turtle Vision Heat Sensor Goggles.
Leo and Dawn find Raph first, and they kind of save him from the Foot Ninjas. Except then Raph tries to take care of them himself without the goggles, and that's funny.
Show yourself, you lousy! Whoa.
So they're all basically just fighting these ninjas until they think they've beaten all of them, but they see that Casey is being held up over this swirling vortex of watery doom. But Mikey also isn't there because he's busy saving Casey. So Casey's saved, and then they just throw all of the ninjas into the giant toilet, and they're done. Casey offers to stay with them because he's too tired, and they say, "No way, we'll take you home."
Maybe I should just crash at you guys' place tonight. No!
More or less.
Tuck you in? Heck, we'll even tell you a bedtime story!
2 more cuts. First cut is back to Shredder, who is getting on to Stockman for failing him again. And like I said, Hun saved his own ass, so he's good. Stockman's gonna lose another body part, though. Sucks.
Your creations fail to, as you put it, deliver the goods.
Where are you taking me? Take your hands off me!
Hun is a smug asshole and informs Shredder that these turtles have no idea who his enemy is, and they're obviously not working for them. So Shredder decides that maybe the guys can work for him instead.
Then perhaps they can be useful to me when the time comes to confront those enemies.
I'm not sure how he's gonna do that since he's kind of been attacking them this entire time. We'll see, you'll see. Then the last cut, at the very end of the episode, we're introduced to some new characters that are nameless and a little weird.
But if they are in the employ of our enemy, take the necessary steps to neutralize them.
So they've confirmed that Shredder knows they're there, which means that they are Shredder's enemy. So are they really the bad ones, or is it like the enemy of my enemy is my friend? There's a hint, it's the second one. They also know that the turtles are there, however they don't know if the turtles are working for Shredder or not. And this is kind of an open ending to an episode because there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. With this new cloaking device that Stockman's installed from the artifact that is from Shredder's enemy, who we meet at the very end of the episode, we know that this enemy is very technologically advanced. However, we still don't know who they are or where they came from. And because of Hun's questions, we can assume that they came from another planet. And we can also assume that Hun knows exactly who these enemies are, which is something that I didn't realize until rewatching this episode.
Who do you work for? How long have you been on this planet? What is the level of your technology?
I wonder how long Hun has been working for Shredder. It's gotta be a few years. Like, lots of years. Maybe he was working for him from the very beginning, when they burned down Casey's dad's store. And the plot has been furthered more, because now we have Shredder who's going to try to get the guys on his side, and his enemies that need to know whose side the turtles are on. So the next episode is probably going to be kind of crazy. There's not really a lot of things that came up that I wanted to talk about at the end of this episode, but I did enjoy it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it if you rewatched it, and if you didn't, I hope you enjoyed my talking. And that's the end of the episode.
That's a good look for you.
So I've started a new blog that's special just for Turtle Talk updates. So if you follow my personal Tumblr or my Twitter and you don't like seeing all of the other updates, then you can just follow this Tumblr blog for special updates, because it's only for Turtle Talk updates. Nothing else will be there. I'm considering some new different episodes and would like to know your input, so I would really appreciate it if you visited the blog, or if you just wanted to leave a comment, let me know what you think. I'm considering doing Turtle Talks for the 2K12 series on Nick, and possibly doing some throwback episodes where I talk about the 80s series. So let me know what you think. I really would like to know, because I'm going to need a little more involvement if I do it. And that's pretty much all I had to say. I'll see you guys in the next episode. And this is just an openly ended episode. There's so much left that have to be... Fuck.
Sweet dreams, lord butt!